Yeah, feel free to transition into this one.
Wait.
From discrimination of one kind to discrimination of another, the Ahmaud Arbery case picked their jury, and that was good, right? There was out of the 12 jurors, 11 are white and one is African American, and the judge himself. Sorry, yes. What?
I was going to say after a 2.5-week process, the judge went back and said that it appears to be intentional discrimination in the jury selection. And then afterwards, the court heard arguments for more than 2 hours about why the defense struck certain people from the case. The motion was denied. They ruled that there were valid reasons, and they're ready to go forward with.
And the judge acknowledged that in Georgia, the judge's hands are tied. They can't dismiss jurors once they've been chosen by both and agreed upon, and valid stuff has been put forward. Whereas in other states, the judge could probably intervene more. So his hands were essentially tied. At least he called it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
which means that it's still known that this jury that has not changed.
It's still in place. It's still in place.
It's suspicious.
Yeah. So some person was asking me why would the prosecution agree to these people? Because the lawyers have to agree. And I'm like, I guess it would be like saying, hey, I'd rather have someone who has white skin who seems to have a little bit leans more left, like say they would get me, or say someone like Dave who is very clear thinking, very objective, just listens to the facts and makes his decision from there, as opposed to maybe somebody else who they're really pushing for, who you probably would lean more towards the defense, and it's an open and shut case because the defense is just not going to agree to more persons of non-white ethnicity. And I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't think you should base your jury off of race. You should just pick people who you think are going to help you win your case.
Yeah,
I think it was probably hard to get a lot of Black people on the jury because the other side's probably like just trying to find a way to get them off the list. Anyway, all you have to do is go to their social media, like who hasn't posted about.
But it's supposed to be a jury of your peers,
right? But does it matter?
Exactly.
Does it change your perception at all that the county is 25% Black?
Well, then why isn't it 25% Black to the jury then, or even 10%?
I don't think
what are we talking about? Two more Black people? Like, yeah. I mean,
that doesn't.
25% of a jury is just 3 people.
I mean, you could be unanimous. I mean, being unanimous is necessary, isn't it?
Wait, that's 40.
Yeah, for all you know, a Black person
would anonymous. You mean anonymous?
Would be over 25%.
No, are together, all together.
Oh, unanimous. Yeah.
So, even if it's 1 or 2, if it evens it out enough where that person can, I guess, stand their ground, either or. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So if oh, sorry.
No.
No. I thought you were done.
Really,
I'm sorry.
Not going anywhere.
Okay, cool. So if they find these 3 defendants guilty, are people going to say...
Oh, no one's going to say anything then. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then the next case...
Penises.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think what it is that...
If they lose, that's what we're going to hear.
Of course, you're setting yourself...
This is why I can't lead a country.
You're assuming they're all racist, and then the one... You're assuming that the one African-American juror is solely going to say, no, they're guilty because they're white. We're all that's the assumption that's going on. I mean,
I don't agree with that.
I don't.
I
don't think that's the assumption.
Devil's advocate says
then it shouldn't matter what race they are.
Yeah, devil's advocate also says, what if that one Black person is actually
it would to the defense,
what if the whites
or to the
Well, I don't know if that's the assumption per se, as much as the assumption is just that the system itself is rigged to try to get the verdict that would be favorable to the defendants. Well, because like you said,
both sides have to agree on the jury themselves, right?
Yeah, that's the difference.
So if they know that the defense is always going to say no to anybody who is a person of color, or
sorry, I don't know if both sides have to agree though. Like each side gets a number of preemptory strikes.
And
like they can just veto somebody just because like I don't like your face, I don't like this, I don't have to give a reason, and then afterwards they have to start giving some reasons, but. You know, if the prosecution, after they strike a certain number of people, they can't just say, yeah, we don't want them. Like, then,
So maybe they stacked it with
I see what you're
such
saying. Where it's
hardcore
like
people to get the kind of people they want. Kind of like, I mean, it's a terrible analogy, but like when South Park the movie came out, they put so much nasty shit in there to get the R rating. They got the movie they wanted, knowing that if they put that movie out first, it would have been struck down. So they made it even worse, so they would get what they wanted. So maybe they stacked it with the people so that the prosecution would get rid of the really, really extreme people so they could get the kind of people they thought would give the verdict that they want in the favor of the defense.
That don't make me feel comfortable about that.
I think
if I was in
surface, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
I don't being there, it could dictate something different. And hearing like their actual responses could have swayed the jury or swayed the defense and the prosecution.
And I think they're also looking at the history of Georgia law when in cases similar to this, where it's just always been not fair. Even if this jury ends up being the most objective, fair jury of all time, which is entirely possible. It's also entirely possible it won't be. I think it's just it's this particular instance suffers from history, even though I'm always a big component of saying you should take everything on a case-by-case basis. It's difficult. I mean, it's difficult. I don't know.
I would actually like to see numbers about like the age ranges, like economic backgrounds.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm just concerned at the fact that like isn't the judge like a ref? So like if he's calling out something wrong and we're saying, oh no, we're not going to listen to you because of whatever. It's not. I'm not going to assume that I know law, but still, like
that is
someone
startling.
is saying something is wrong. You know,
probably trying to clean his hands of it too, but also that does influence the jury, doesn't it, for him to say something like that?
If and can't he override a jury if he thought that the decision
he can clear a mistrial. That's the only thing I think.
Oh, that's
so then.
You just have to see how they proceed, honestly. I'm not going to have assumptions about those people. Because, like, also, you just see how many white people are running around with their white guilt trigger stuff. So I'm just like, great, have almost all white jury with their white guilt.
It has to be the right ones, because if it's not, it's just the white ones.
If it's all white, it's all right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, they're all, like, the stereotypes I've seen recently that are exhausting. It's just like all this social justice warrior shit, and I'm like, great, like let them be more upset than everyone else and do
it's
the
the
right
Council
thing.
of Karens.
Council of Karens.
Well, not
and one
Karens.
black person.
Hopefully, no Karens.
No, that's the opposite, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Karens,
well,
no
there are
Karens.
angry people on both sides, so
that all 11 people are Karens.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like Dave said, you said, everyone has said it. There's assumptions being made.
Yeah.
It's coming from a historical standpoint of just like expecting the worst and usually
and
getting
knowing
it.
what.
But
Karens
in reality,
are.
well, yeah. But in reality, this could be the most fair and partial jury ever.
Like, hopefully, they're all like runners.
Who
and
knows?
Stuff, you know what I mean?
Who
like,
knows?
Normal people who have empathy know that what happened was wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, they can all totally have a bunch of stuff in common with the victim in ways that you're not going to see just by their skin tone. That's why they're alive.
Exactly. So we'll not, like as you said, we'll stay tuned, but it's definitely thought provoking. And
did they pick someone from outside the area? Right?
No, it has to be like.
Don't they usually? I thought that they would usually do that when like it's.
That's
so
why
public.
that jury duty stuff is always like in your own county.
Yeah. Just make it a job. There would be this problem.
So maybe it's just like all the white people's turn to.
They were like,
let's
okay,
25%.
We got our 2.5 African Americans.
They'll find us. We've said it too many times. It's like Beetlejuice.
Maybe Beetlejuice should be
you're
on
no
the
good.
jury.
Ashley as a kid. In the corner.
All right. Well, now that Ashley's in the corner, you're not the baby. I mean, after last week's game, you kind of are the baby, I guess.
Is the baby
mentally?
Wait, isn't she the baby?
Was that the segue into
age related?
I think you.
I don't know.
Are you not the youngest?
Is it Raiders? Is that a game or is that a?
No, actually,
a team?
you are the youngest.
Balls is
Yeah,
the
I was like,
No,
What?
Balls.
you were born in the 90s, right?
Not.
Balls
Yeah,
is
I'm
second
90.
oldest.
I was gonna say
The
that.
90s, yeah.
Is there anyone 90?
Me?
Okay, what month?
87. Oh,
88.
So
was
it's
born in
me,
1996.
Balls, Tater, Darius, Rebecca, and Ashley.
Bex, what month were you born?
I was born in 96.
Oh my god.
She said month.
She's lying. She's lying.
First of all, she said month, and she said
92.
I don't eat meat because I'm a veterinarian.
1990.
Okay, so I guess I am. Mine is August.
90?
Well, I'm also forever babyface. So
What's
Oh,
funny
the
is that
youth.
you are in the
The
corner on
youth.
my screen, so baby is in the
Mine
corner.
too.
And would baby like to do this transition?
That's
Speaking of
not
babies.
demeaning.